Hi friends, welcome back to Jelly Bean's channel. This is Jelly Bean. I'm Alita and you've reached Alita in the Books. In this video we're going to be talking about some very unpopular opinions. I'm just kidding. We're going to be talking about the books that I DNFed in 2023. In 2024, I want to be better about keeping track of the books that I read and the books that I DNF and everything like that. Last year, I started doing the cow pile thing that Book Roast used, and I was doing really well at that, and then, like, you know, life got busy. I moved, had summer, and I'm a teacher, so during the summer months I don't have work. So, you know, I had a bunch of stuff happen, and then my brother-in-laws moved in, and it's been a lot. And eventually I just kind of stopped putting all my books in there, and I stopped reviewing all of them, and I fell off the wagon a little bit. But these are the ones that I know I for sure DNF'd. So let's just talk about it. I guess this could double as my worst books of the year because I didn't like them enough to finish them. Okay. So I think I have 11 books that I DNF'd for sure. I feel like I DNF'd more than that this year. Because to be honest, it wasn't a great reading year. I read over 200 books, which is about average for me. I usually read between 220 and 235, but this year I only read 202, so that's a lot less for me, which is fine. But these are just the ones that I didn't love enough to finish. If you are the one that recommended me these books, please don't take this personally. It's not a personal attack on you. And if you love these books, I'm super happy for you. There was just something about them that I didn't like. So we're gonna just rip the Band-Aid off with Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. This is a middle grade fantasy novel. It's a series. I just don't like middle grade generally. And I've realized that I need to stop pretending that I like middle grade books. I like collecting middle grade books and I like getting them for my classroom, but no more for me. Not my thing. And you know what? That we have to be okay with that. The next one is, oh man, I'm so sorry. It's one that came out this year. It's The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. Oh, I hated this book. So I was really bored, and then there's this part where the math just doesn't math correctly, and it took me completely out of the story, so I stopped reading it at the part where the math doesn't math. Then I listened to most of think I listened to 90% of this book. But I didn't care how it ended. So, Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole by Hannah Nicole. This is a young adult fantasy, but I would call it more of a romance, young adult romance with fantasy elements. It was bad, but I don't like fantasy, so take that with a grain of salt. Then I DNF Thank You for Listening by Julia Whalen. I love Julia Whalen. She's an amazing audiobook narrator. This is the first book that I've read by her, and I couldn't finish it. It was just, I didn't understand the hype. I still don't understand. I'm sorry. Then I DNF'd The Last Russian Doll by Kirsten Loschk. Lone Woman by Victor Lavelle. And Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. And then I also DNF'd, this one's gonna hurt some people. It's really gonna hurt some people. Oh, I can't say it. I can't. I have to, but I can't. I can't. I don't want to strain this relationship we have. I can't. Like, I still want to be your bestie. I DNF'd Beartown. Whew. I think there's actually a vlog where I say that I'm not gonna read it right now because I'm not in the right headspace. And the truth is that I read 50% of the book and I wasn't liking it, so I was debating like DNFing it. Yeah, that debate's over. I really thought that I would love Beartown by Frederick Bachman. But nothing happened. Well, I mean, something did ultimately end up happening, but it just wasn't for me. That's all. That's all I can say. I guess I will also tell you about Unbury Carol by Josh Mallerman, I think. Yeah. I didn't like that one. I thought it was going to be a twisted Alice in Wonderland story, but it was like weird. It was just weird. And then I read The St. Ambrose School for Girls by Jessica Ward. I feel like this one was more of a me thing. This was a young adult dark academia thriller. And I just generally hate young adult books now. I just don't. Sorry. I just don't vibe with young adult, and there's nothing terribly wrong. I mean, I only give it 1 star, but that's because I was bored out of my mind and I didn't really like anything that happened in that book. I found it very predictable. But again, I don't like young adult books anymore. So, I know that one's just a me thing. And then, let's see, The Metamorphosis by Frank Kafka. That was a classic that I read about this guy that turns into a bug. It It was gross. So I gave it 1 star. I hated it. The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery. That one was another one I DNF'd. I forgot to tell you. Okay. Oof. We Are All the Same in the Dark by Julia Heberlin. It was a very forgettable thriller. And, like, I don't remember a single thing about it, but I remember actively being mad that I read that book and hating the fact that I finished it. So I know I didn't like it, but I can't tell you a single thing about it. Truly Devious is a young adult mystery. It's the first in a, like, Sherlock Holmes series type thing. I hated it. That's why it got 1 star for me. We already talked about Unbury Carol. This How You Lose the Time War. I should have known this was not for me. I don't like sci-fi. It's very short. And I'm still very confused as to what happened in that book, but that's okay. Then My Murder by Katie Williams. I thought that it was a thriller. In fact, it said thriller on the back. And it said thriller choice, but it was actually like a very literary novel about this girl that dies. And she's, like, investigating her own death. It was so boring, though. Highly don't recommend. Okay. Another 1 star. So I guess we're just going through my worst books of 2023 now. The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias. So going into this novel, I knew that it was about this guy whose daughter had cancer. And he would do anything to get money for her cancer treatment. But they did the unthinkable at the very beginning of the book. And I'm really sad with the direction that they went with this book. I didn't like it. Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy. This was a 1 star book for me, basically because you follow Mac and Jasper. I don't think his name is Jasper. I don't remember the guy's name. But it's sad because he was a good human. He was a good human. He was a good person. Kinda. Mostly. Not fully, but mostly. She, on the other hand, cheated on her boyfriend with him, and the entire time his plan was to steal this guy's girlfriend because this guy got him fired from a job. So he's like, oh, so I'm gonna steal his girlfriend, and he succeeds, but she doesn't tell her boyfriend that she's sleeping with this other guy now, and so they're like cheating. She's cheating on him, but she finds out that her boyfriend has been cheating on her for a couple years, and she gets so mad, but it's like she's doing the same thing, so why is it such a double standard? And this book honestly just angered me. This is my least favorite book of the entire year, and I wish I wouldn't have wasted my time. I honestly am thinking that me and Elle Kennedy are not made to be friends. I'm not supposed to read anything else that Elle Kennedy writes. I haven't really ever loved any of the books I've read by her, which are like, I think I've read 3 of them. Then I read I'm Watching You by Teresa Driscoll. It's like such a copycat of Girl on the Train. And I hated Girl on the Train, so that was a 1 star. I'm not going to go through all the books that I gave 1 stars to because there were a lot this year. But I'll tell you some of the highlights that you guys might not agree with, which is fine. Like I said, I hope you like these books. They just didn't work for me. Legends and Lattes. Legends and Lattes by Travis Bouldering. Cozy books are not my thing. Fantasy is not my thing. Never Saw Me Coming by Vera Karen. This one read too much like a young adult thriller. That's why I didn't like it. Real Easy by Marie Rotowski. This one follows, I don't even remember their names. Like Megan? No, not Megan. Well, these 2 strippers are driving home. Well, one is driving her friend home and then she's gonna go home. But they get into what looks like an accident, and then you go and figure out what happened that night and if it was really an accident. It was really boring though. I don't know. I think that might be most of them. I know. Oh, Archer's Voice was this year. Okay. Hide and Archer's Voice. Okay. Hide by Kirsten White was so boring. Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan was not a love story, and it was trying to be, but I'm sorry, but psycho vibes. And like, I love reading about psychopathic tendencies and things like that, but not in my romance novels, because no. I'm sure there were more 1-star books. Actually, I know for a fact there were more 1-star books, but I wanted this to be more of just like a chill, sit down, talk about all the books I DNFed. I'm sorry, by the way. And talk about my least favorite books of the year. I don't want to give them too much attention, and I don't want to shine a light badly. Like, I don't want this to be a negative channel. I want it to be a positive channel. So I'm just gonna end the video here. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye!